Also, we've talked about a lot about what's happening right now. Stopping Sabal Trail is not enough. We're not just here for a little bit of time. We're here until the very end. So Merrillee is going to talk to us from Sierra Club, Florida. Stopping Sabal Trail is not enough.
Thank you. It's great to be here tonight. And before I get into stopping Sabal Trail is not enough, because if anybody has followed my life, there's much that you can do other than fight pipelines. However, what I'm really focused on these days is violations, non-compliances, and variances. So the violations, non-compliances, and now variances that are mounting up on this pipeline corridor are the things that I can't seem to get enough sleep over. So when you go out to a site and you're standing there on a public road and you're looking at these incredible corridors that are being ripped apart before your eyes, you start to really notice things that don't look right. Don't look right in terms of construction. And in the early stages, 6 or 7 months ago, when we started talking about what a violation looked like or what a non-compliance looked like, all I could tell the public was it doesn't look right. There should be silt screens. For instance, there should be either the orange or the black silt screens on the edges of these roads. The rows right-of-way, they should be at every location on the entire corridor. And what we're finding is, especially off the public right-of-way, off the public road, they don't put those out there. What are they for? They're for wildlife. Or they might be for runoff of rain, water in the construction site or outside of the construction site, depending on. Those are really important. The other violations are, when I go out and I talk to some people that live next door to these corridors, they tell me, oh yeah, Sabal Trail cut down my old tree. My old tree's been there, you know, probably 300 or 400 years. Sabal Trail cut it down. That's a violation. They should not be outside of the row. They have a designated 50 feet, and then they have, generally speaking, 100 feet. And that's all they get, unless off of a right-of-way, a public right-of-way, which is a road that I can stand on and I'm not trespassing, they can also take additional workspace. I had to learn that the hard way because I was reporting additional workspace when I walk. You know, I do my, this is 12 inches. Okay, I do my walk and I find 100 feet, right? And then I find 25 more feet of dirt over there. I'm like, how come that's happening? And then I had to find out from John Kokonum, who is the project manager from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, when I would call him up and complain about all these violations or non-compliances that I'm witnessing. He'd say, oh, no, some additional workspace is allowable. So nonetheless, even if you're counting that type of footage, 100 feet, 125 feet, record that. If you're going to be out there witnessing the way I am and the way several of us are trying to track down violations and non-compliances, record that. Because the additional workspace isn't guaranteed at every right-of-way, at every public right-of-way, on every public road. It really depends on the EIS, the Environmental Impact Statement. Now, what we're also seeing in terms of violations is we're seeing equipment failure in places that you shouldn't have equipment failure, tractors tipped over in wetlands that shouldn't be there overnight or 3 or 4 days later. So we call out on that. Say it again?
Leaking things like hydraulic fluid.
Leaking things, leaking things, chemical liquids that leak and maybe don't get reported. Those are violations. They have to report every type of leak that they encounter, that they being the construction workers. Other violations that we might see on a regular basis, really sad to even talk that way, are sinkholes, which we see on a regular basis up here in North Florida. When I hear about them and I know that I can access them, I will go out and take photographs of them or videotape them because they're important to document that. Because we have found out, now this is something that I want to share with y'all because this is something I did not think of. People are like, well, why are you still fighting a pipeline? It's going to go in. I'm still fighting the pipeline because that pipeline is not a gas pipeline until the gas is running in the pipe.
Yes.
It's just a construction project right now that hurts us terribly, especially in the rural environments of North Florida, to watch these big, massive environments, habitats go down and being destructed. But it's not a gas pipe till that gas is in there. The other thing is, what I found out fighting pipelines, and I think we can do this if we ever have to go through this again, and God help us if we do. You can ask, I think we can ask to have documentation, the survey crew, the head people that go out and photograph everything, and then they photograph in between the project, and then they photograph at the end when they start to smooth out the land. We can ask for those photographs. And why is that important? Well, because I can only get to a right-of-way that's public road. I am not allowed to, with their trespassing signs, to get on that corridor, or even sometimes to get next to the corridor because the property owners that live next door aren't going to want me on their land. But if I can access those survey photographs, I can see what's going on during the whole corridor. And I think if we ever have to do this again, I'm going to request from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission those images be placed in a portal that we can access as citizens. Because this right-of-way that they are stealing, this eminent domain business, it is a public utility. Supposedly, FP&L and Duke is a public utility, so we should have every right to see what's going on in that corridor. So that's something that in the future, on any project that has an eminent domain characteristic to it, we should be able to access before, during, and after. And then let us be the judge while we're looking at that. People send me photographs all the time. I can see that there's a violation in that photograph. We're starting to get very sophisticated about what we can actually see. It doesn't have to be a videotape. It can just be a picture. So on the 23rd, it was mentioned, Shannon and Bobby C. Billy are going to be doing a demonstration in Tallahassee that needs attendance. We need a work crew. We have a lot of the material already piling up. We need a work crew to come in and do a workshop. You can do it at where Sierra Club is located in Fort White if you want to join me, either Wednesday or Thursday. Workshop it for 4 to 6 hours. I need with your laptop. I have Wi-Fi. I need a crew that can sit down with us together and start compiling the data on violations, non-compliances, and variances. Non-compliances and variances are very similar. One might be DEP, one might be Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. DEP, by the way, is Department of Environmental Protection. Both those agencies record these information that Sabal reports. We have found, for instance, 1 month never got reported. How do I know that? Because I'm in the portal of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and they are required to report bi-weekly reports. When I started adding these all up, I found 1 month where I found a sinkhole and a couple sinkholes. That month never got reported in the portal. So we're documenting these types of things. The other thing is the variances that we keep repeatedly seeing. What a variance is, okay, they had their idea through their environmental impact statement, they being Sabal Trail or Spectra Energy, that we're going to put the right-of-way right here. Well, they get out there in Florida because nobody's done the job of walking this trail, 685.5 miles from Alabama down to Titusville. Nobody did the walk. And suddenly they're out there with the working crew and they find out, oh, we can't put it there. Well, we must have to go put it over there. Well, here's the interesting thing about a variance. That's a variance. They did not do an EIS for over there. They did the EIS for here. And even then you kind of question that. But the reality is they're putting out variances through this whole corridor that need to be documented and recorded. And who is the oversight agency for that? We brought that up to them early on. I don't know, 6 months ago I brought that up to John Piconum and I said, okay, what's the deal with the variances? Who's going out there to do an EIS on that? So those are the kind of things that we're looking at in terms of the future of this pipeline, and then in terms of the future of the water supply in general. We're working, Sierra Club has already put a petition in for the Floridan Aquifer to be a sole source aquifer for our water supply, fresh water supply for natural systems and for ourselves, more for ourselves in that particular case. There are 2 other sole source aquifers in the state of Florida, the Biscayne and the Volusia. This would be the 3rd one. It's not uncommon that Florida has them since we already have 2. So that's something, we've already done the petition. We have a few more questionnaires that we have to fill out in order to get that designation. And then I think once that sole source gets established, it helps just a tremendous amount, not only in federal but also state programs or development that we want to curtail. Thank you very much.
I know what an aquifer is. What's a sole source?
Solesource Aquifer is a federal designation for a water supply that needs protection. It offers it's a legal designation, and it offers more protection regarding that water supply. Green Swamp in Florida is an area of critical state concern. This pipeline is going through the Green Swamp 5 miles. I just found that out 2 weeks ago. I did not see that on the EIS. It is going to be dry trench 5 miles. So these designations, outstanding Florida waterway, that's what all of our, Swanee, Santa Fe, I think even the Withlacoochee, I'm not sure, you guys could correct me. Rainbow. These types of designations, whether they're state or federal, they have legal structure to them where they offer more protection. And so that's what the sole source provides.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have 5 copies of this wonderful list that WALS put together about non-compliance violations, how to report them, who to report to. Nice list. So if somebody wants 5 of these copies, only if you're going to be reporting will I give this to you. This is somebody that is going to be working at reporting.
You can tell people to take cell phone pictures of it too.
Right, that's what
What's
Cell
that?
phone pictures. Tell people to take cell phone pictures of it.
Cell phone, no, it's a complete set. Cell phone pictures, please take
Okay, so
them.
Merrillee is offering, if you want to do work, she's got some work for you, but don't take it unless you're going to do work.
That's right.
The Swanee River is outstanding water of Florida, and when WALS took Sabal Trail and DEP to court, what we were taking them to court over was that they didn't follow their rules in terms of protecting this outstanding water of Florida. And I sad to say that the judge ruled against us, but having the designation at least let us take them to the administrative hearing to say you weren't doing your job. So getting the aquifer protected with a legal designation would help us to protect it in the future, potentially. About requesting things, before they were doing the EIS, when they were doing the bid work, we asked through open records to say we would like to see the bids and the statement of work that was bid on, and they told us that they wouldn't give it to us because it was private information from the companies, even though they had the bid opening was complete and they had accepted the bid. So that doesn't maybe get you what you want. We tried that at the start to get what the bid was because we thought that they were not doing their job. Our next to the last speaker